Sorry. Okay. So does someone want to read this quote from the Book of Joy? I keep referring to this, but it seems to keep calling my name, this Dalai Lama in the Desmond Tutu book. Someone want to read that quote for us?
I can do that.
Okay.
If you can hear me.
Yep, we got.
From the Book of Joy, both Christian and Buddhist traditions, perhaps all spiritual traditions, recognize the importance of gratefulness. It allows us to shift our perspective toward all we have been given and all that we have. It moves us away from the narrow-minded focus on fault and lack and to the wider perspective of benefit and abundance. Brother David Steindl Ross, a Catholic Benedict monk and scholar, explained, it's not happiness that makes us grateful, it's gratefulness that makes us happy. Every moment is a gift.
Thank you, Steve.
You're quite.
That quote really stuck with me. So that's that thing that Jesus was trying to teach us, that we don't have to be narrow-minded, but looking at fault, but we could broaden our perspective. And how do we get to be grateful? I think it just is a change of perspective. I don't think circumstances have to change. Even Desmond Tutu, who was discriminated against and violated and harmed physically, and the Dalai Lama, who had to escape for his life at the age of 15, and traveled a treacherous journey out of China into India to escape. They found that their life, they have much to be grateful for, when they could be very bitter and very angry. So I don't think circumstances made them had to change. I think it was them that had to change. When I look at my life before the coronavirus, what were the things I was grateful for? It wasn't toilet paper.
I guess grateful for being able to move freely about.
Right. Do you remember what I used to be grateful for? A good worship service or a good a nice special music. Those are things that I could be grateful for, or swimming pools.
Oh, that would be so nice to go swimming. I really miss the library. I wish I could go to the library. I was very in the moment when I worked at the library, and very grateful every day that I worked there. It was such a treat and a pleasure, being such a book lover, to be in the middle of that building full of books,
Right.
And even when I stopped working there, I just like to go there and hang out, because it's just peaceful.
Right.
For me, I would have to agree with Vivian. It feels like a little bit of a loss of freedom to just go places. Not that I went that many places, but now that you can't, it's like, gosh, I really want to.
Definitely, yeah. So grateful for the freedom that we had, but it was all those things on the shelves that you could just pick your item. I remember thinking, it's not it wasn't a lack of items that prevented me from buying them. It was cost that prevented me from buying certain items. Now it's like, well, whatever is on the shelf.
Yeah, when they bring it out and put it in your trunk, you really don't ask what's it costing.
Yeah,
You just take it.
right.
Yep, grateful for toilet paper. Who knew that would happen? That's the silliest thing ever.
Yeah.
But man, you don't want to live without it.
We're not used to living without it.
If you don't have to, right?
Right?
You know? But I was looking ahead, verse 11. Let's see. Yeah. I am not saying this because I'm in need. I've learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need and what it is to be plenty. I've learned the secret of being content in every situation, which is gratefulness, right?
That's
And
Philippians 4, verse 11, 10, 11.
yeah, sorry, 4, 11, 12. And, you know, I mean, I've really gotten into the habit of, you know, looking forward and back, because I think, you know, it helps you understand these passages. Because in Philippians 1, Paul's talking about being in chains. He was in jail. And then, you know, so, you know, that puts this, you know, down, and then these verses I just mentioned. So, you know, he has, I don't think he necessarily was content 100% of the time, but he learned. I've learned how to be content. And, you know, so it's almost like we are in the school of coronavirus right now. And we can learn something or not. I mean, it's up to us whether we, and, you know, and whatever that situation is.
There's the two things I want to say real quick. One is that it's let's see, how do you put it? Hold on, I lost my thought. I lost my train of thought.
Well, I noticed a big difference about what I was grateful for before the coronavirus and what I'm grateful after the coronavirus. So to me, I heard about a hurricane in Puerto Rico that happened this last few days ago. And I'm thinking, oh, great. That would be miserable after you've lost all this freedom and all this, you know, separation. Then you have to worry about, where am I going to sleep? What am I going to eat? Where am I going to find water? I mean, that's the things that I'm grateful for. I have water, I have a roof, and I have a income of some sort that I hope still there. You know, those things that you just are not ever, you've taken for granted a lot of the times.
Yeah, they didn't even, majority of Puerto Ricans didn't get any stimulus money.
Oh boy.
Yep.
So yeah, what am I going to be grateful for? I keep thinking of things every day, like wow, I have dish soap. You know, I can wash the coronavirus off because I have just regular old dish soap.
I sometimes think that the attitude of gratitude is really counterproductive to modern day thinking. And it seems like everywhere we turn, we're being told to not be grateful for what we have because we need to want more so that we can drive our economy.
Definitely, that's how advertising gets us, isn't it?
Never satisfied with what you have. You have to get better, bigger.
Or a different color.
Obviously, I'd be happy if I had a different color shirt.
So one of the things that I remembered was it's important for me, and I've trained myself, and I think I've been this way. I got this from my mom. is to look for the positives or the strengths of people or situations. What is the good that is coming out of this situation? And the other thing is, you know, gosh, now I lost it again. I'm sorry. I'm really tired.
Yeah, you get some sleep in there. It'll come back to you. So look for the positive. And Mr. Rogers says, look for the helpers. So this time the helpers are the ones who are, well, I guess another thing to be grateful for is all these people who are the helpers who are at the grocery store delivering your groceries to the car and being at the gas station so you can get gasoline and are running the Walmart and the grocery store and I was all the people on the doing Lyft driving and all the things that we're so dependent on before the coronavirus. They're still risking their lives, and they're to be the helpers. Plus all the medical staff, of course. So that kind of leads me into what I was thinking the topic for next week. What do we want to keep that we might have learned? What are the lessons that we've learned that we might want to hang on to?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Exactly. Because there are some really great things that are going on. What is really great that's going on? You know, people are really realizing what is important, I think, you know, because it's really not toilet paper and things, material things. It's connections with people and you know, being able to hug each other and to hold hands, to shake hands. I am such a habit of shaking people's hands, and it's so hard because I just immediately, and then I gotta offer them my elbow. But yeah, I mean, our attendance for church is crazy. The numbers are just through the roof. And I know people, I think, flock to churches or faith communities when times are hard because they need support and they need community. And we need community even more now that we don't see each other or hug each other or talk face to face.
Yeah. So even New Yorkers, Jim Gaffigan was saying, I have now missed the guy who's the curmudgeon. You know, I don't even get to see the grumpy old guy anymore. It's like I'm missing people so badly. So yeah, and you know, what did we think we were independent and we could do it ourselves? Boy, I've learned I cannot do hardly anything myself. How do I get a supply of groceries if someone's not there to drive the trucks and deliver it to each of these crazy grocery stores? You know, I'm not growing all my food and canning it myself. Some of our grandparents probably did all that stuff too.
Yeah, but they lived through First World War, the crash, the Depression, Second World War. You know, I mean, it was bad, man. My great grandma had a horrible life.
Right. And they had to survive with what they had.
Well, a lot harder than just wearing a mask, isn't it? You know, I've been thinking about I'm trying to be a more critical consumer of the media about some of this stuff, because you know they really do you know, they're going to put things on that you know, are sensational. It's just the way it is. It always has been. But I've seen, you know, seeing it more and more contrasted with, you know, so you have the picture of the guys who won't wear the mask, you know, and then someone getting mean, there have been people killed because of that, and that happens. But, you know, I've seen lots of, you know, the 60, 70, even 80% of the people, you know, in polls are, you know, we need to take care of each other. So, you know, that's, I mean, that's something that gives me some hope about people recognizing what's most important, you know, and being grateful for just for health, and being grateful then for all the folks who are doing without all the masks or whatever they need, but they're still helping the people who are, you know, are sick, even though some of our leaders don't really seem to get it.
Well, there's, I guess, a lot of healthcare workers that have contracted the disease and passed away.
Well, it is bad. Yeah. I mean,
That's your job, an ICU nurse. You got to take care of these people that are just loaded with this horrible virus. It's so scary.
well, the guy that went to New York and came back, you know, just the other day
From Colorado.
from Colorado, you know, it was on the news the last day or so. He
Oh yeah.
yeah, he volunteered, went to New York and got the virus and died.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Who knew that I'd be grateful to go into a hospital to visit someone, because now I can't even do that.
Yeah, or all the people that are having to wait for their elective surgeries.
Right.
You know,
And the
who knew
people,
you would be grateful to be having your knee replaced, or, you know.
right. And the people who are dying without a loved one to be near them, that just kills me really bad. So, you know, my hope is that I don't forget these things to be grateful for. When they're not here, then you start to be reminded. So if things start to be normal again, or back to more what we used to, my job is to have these memories that can float to the surface once in a while. Maybe that's why we need Bible study. I don't know. Well, so do we want to try for next week? We're headed, all right. So next week I'm thinking, what changes are we thinking we want to hold on to? Is there anything that we want to think about differently now that we have been through this coronavirus experience? So we'll see what the scriptures might have to teach us on that one. All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks,
Hey,
bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Good
Bye.
to see you again.
Good to see you, Steve.
We're still on.
I've got to stop recording. Here we go.